To start off, let's just rip this Band-Aid off right now. Just rip. It doesn't matter how fast or slow. It's still gonna hurt, but you gotta do it. So we're about a couple weeks away from that fucking Grinch movie. Illumination, you are my enemy in life. It's making us into Grinches, but it's not going to make us watch the freaking movie. And neither is the theme, the new rendition of You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. And since you'll remember, this is the same company that hired Pharrell to do the music for Despicable Me, of course they have to pick another contemporaneous urban artist just to be hip with the kids and all that. And this time it's Tyler, the creator. Oh, why? Why?
Tyler, why?
I would expect this from our Tyler, but from you, Tyler, you're better than this. Yeah, his version of the song, it's about what you would expect, where it sounds more like, it's super neutered and watered down, and, all I can think of is that in an alternate universe, we probably got a really cool horrorcore version of this that sounded like older Tyler, but this sounds like a bullshit version of newer Tyler. Shit, even he himself sounds like he wanted to bail on this as quickly as possible. Like he only did this because the check, she was fat. I don't know why this movie exists.
I grew up, like many others did, on the 1966 How the Grinch Stole Christmas special from Chuck Jones. That's all we ever needed. We didn't need the Jim Carrey movie. We don't need the Benedict Cumberbatch movie. Why? Why do we need these things?
Yeah, I listen to this it sounds so, I don't know. It's like, at first I want to give it a chance. It's like, it just feels kind of weird. Kind of, see, I'm so unsure about this song. I'm trying to find out what to say about it. It's like eating chocolate with mayonnaise.
I'm guessing the only thing we can really say is that I guess those Golf Wang clothing sales must not be paying the bills. But anyway, let's move on from that to our dear old friend, Mr. Damon Albarn, who had a new Gorillaz album out last year, a new Gorillaz album out this year, and is still on the grind for putting out new music. Looks like his next big project, coming out November 16th, is actually a new album from his project, The Good, The Bad, and The Queen. It's their second album. I think their first was actually like 15 years ago. Maybe, I think. It was a long-ass time ago, basically. But yeah, they're finally coming out with their sophomore album, Maryland, on November 16th. And here we have the title track, which, it sounds about what I was expecting. There's this kind of drifting, synthetic melody combined with, the guitars and stuff that's very quaint and numbing, emphasized by its kind of slow-moving, sort of 6/4 rhythm. There's a lot of breathing room, in the synths and guitars, just to kind of let it, echo out and reverb. Lots of breathing room for the melodies to all kind of drift on. There's this kind of weird, almost kind of carnival dream-like aesthetic, especially when you consider, the lyrics, doubly so with the video, which is just a puppet, speaking the lyrics at you with, all kinds of weird old stock footage in the background. It's alright, I suppose. Kind of like it more than anything that came out on the last Gorillaz album, to be honest.
I gave this a listen, and, I don't know what it is, but it just didn't click with me. It just, it's all right, but I don't really feel anything toward it personally, so,
Well, maybe it's time to move on from that to something that's a little more aesthetic. Yes, because as it turns out, Damon Albarn isn't the only one putting out multiple albums. He's not the only one putting out multiple things this year. So yeah, once again, Mr. Oneohtrix Point Never, who had his most recent full-length album, Age of, in June, then put out the EP, I believe it was called The Station, August?
Yes.
September? Was it August?
I think it was July.
July, right. And
Yeah.
now he's got another EP coming out. This one coming out November 23rd with the ever so Oneohtrix-esque title of Love in the Time of Lexapro. I wonder if it says something about me that I know Lexapro is a thing, but I don't know what it is exactly. What it's supposed to treat. I gotta look that up later. But yeah, so new EP November 23rd, and we have the title track from this, which is, there's definitely more of I guess it's not as much of this weird, choppy, unsettling tone as, like, the Age of, or shit, even the Garden of Delete kind of stuff. There's this lush synth build-up in the beginning that goes on for like 40 seconds, and then the song just cuts out, leaves a big break for like a lot of reverb-heavy percussion, these droning synths in the mix, and then they all just kind of like more synths are piled on. It all like layers and like builds on top of each other. It comes over you in waves, quite literally like the ocean, especially with some of those more traditional OPN synths. Because like the actual single, like I don't know if this is the EP artwork, but like the artwork for this song at least that I saw on YouTube uses like the dolphins. Because it kind of sounds like some Echo kind of shit. So, like, you can tell the aesthetic is back. But yeah, I'm digging this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good track. Like, we'll say it is definitely got some waves to it. And the sound of me a lot like the opening start of a video game where also you hear this very, very ambient type of shit that OPN is known for. Although, when I say it's close, maybe a little closer to who's Chuck Pierce's persona, maybe a little bit, but not quite. I mean, it ain't vaporwave-ish, or at least a little bit vaporwave-ish. But yeah, this is some some good shit I'm hearing over here.
Give us Echo Jams Volume 2, you coward.
I just want to jump in and say this is some pretty nice atmospheric electronic. It's the kind of track that's perfect to listen to in the dark with a good set of headphones on.
Indeed. And it's certainly a really worthwhile alternative to those lo-fi hip-hop chill whatever beats that you're always studying to for some reason. 24/7. But now let's move on to something that's just plain weird. So apparently I completely forgot about this when we were going over the Record Store Day Black Friday releases, but apparently one of the more notable ones coming out that day is a new EP from Capital Punishment, which is the the avant-garde punk band that was founded by and features the star of Zoolander 2, Ben Stiller.
What?
Seriously, when was the last time Ben Stiller was ever in an good or even just an okay-ish movie? You remember? I can't remember.
Tropic Thunder.
Wow, and that was like 10 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Damn, it was 2 years ago. Shit. Oh, shit.
I feel old. But yeah, it looks like the boys are back in town, as Thin Lizzy and Dro would put it. And, they put together a new EP of some new original material. And they even, to promote the EP, released a, quasi-newish song. It's actually an enhanced remake, if you will, of the track Confusion from their original full-length, before anyone gave a shit about Ben Stiller. And yeah, this definitely sounds like, they say avant-garde punk, but this feels more like Steppenwolf mixed with like Iron Butterfly. Just like, you kind of feel like that old like driving rock tendency, but at the same time there's a lot of this thing is processed to hell. There's so many like guitar effects, filters like flangers, the wahs, all that stuff, the kind of barren drum rhythm that sounds like it could be natural, but at the same time also kind of sounds like something you'd hear in like an old Prodigy jam. There's this weird like tendency where the vocals are kind of all over the place, and to be fair, I don't know if it's Ben Stiller himself singing on this, but it's like it's super, again, coded in the same kinds of guitar effects and whatnot, as he's wavering between like just spoken word and just kind of screaming at you and all that. It's a weird song. I'm not even really sure if I like it, but I'm kind of bizarrely fascinated by this. I'll just leave it at that. It's bizarrely fascinating.
Like, okay, Ben Stiller plays drums in a noise punk band. Why has this not been made more widespread? People need to know this.
Well, to be fair, I think this has been, like, a thing for, like, the super in-the-know, like, Pitchforkian crowd. But, like, I'm guessing, like, since he's been so busy making, you know, mediocre comedy sequels, I remember Little Fockers.
Oh.
No one really gave a shit because we were too busy, you know, beating him up for his bad career choices.
Oh. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about Pitchfork some other time, but as for this, the song is all right. It's good for what it is, but I can't really say much more about it. It's just, okay, that's fine.
But yeah, now it's time to move on from that to more other Adult Swim alumnus. Mr. IDK, back at it again with another Lucy. This time featuring that guy Maxo Cream. Which, I don't know why that guy's name pisses me off so much, but it does.
Okay. I don't
know, there's just something about seeing the name Maxo Cream that annoys me.
Because it reminds you of Oreos or something, I don't know.
Oh, don't make me think about that.
But yeah, remember that dude had an album out, like, this year, like, at least in January? I think that was the same guy, yeah. So he might have another one-off track, or at least I think he's got a project coming up called IDK and Friends, on his Twitter, which I'm guessing this is one of the friends he has.
Oh man, I was hoping for a Denzel Curry collab.
I don't know. He might be on there. He might. I hope. But like if you hear IDK, like it's pretty, especially for a banger. I mean, from this, like it's, IDK does what he always does. Like he always spits that shit. And Maxo Cream, like Maxo Cream, he does alright too. Like I ain't heard much of his work. Well, I did listen to that one album he did this year. It was alright. Like, like once again, like I said before, but like the joint is pretty it's it's pretty like a standard IDK stuff. He's still bringing it. Like I kind of hope he has an album out coming out next year, which I hope, because like much as I like these one-off singles, I kind of want an album now.
Don't we all? Although I think he was busy, doing season 1 of I Was Very Bad, the visual adaptation of his album. So that's probably taking some time.
I need to get on that shit. I need to get on that shit. Like I could get on on YouTube or something like after this. But yeah.
Yeah, me too. I haven't had the time yet. But yeah, Maxo Cream, he's kind of lame here. I couldn't tell you a single memorable line he has. Meanwhile, he's getting showed up by IDK, who's spitting out bars like "Pussy pink and fat, she looked like Majin Buu," which okay, that's a nasty image. I why did you have to put that image in my head, man? I don't want to think about that, especially if it's handsome Majin Buu. She says she want to fuck me because she liked my PG grammar, whatever that means. And, of course, the obligatory, my dick like a ruler, teach a lesson, take yo ass to school. All being rapped at you through his weird... What do they call those things on the Apple phones? Like the moving face?
The Animoji.
That's what it is. Yeah, apparently they had custom-made Animojis for these videos.
Yeah, because it seemed like the video, whatever. It's the thing where it's the movie where it's like you see IDK, he got the the blonde hair, and Maxo Cream got the thing. I think he was bald. He got a big beard.
Yeah, he was bald, and he had the beard that like splits out into like 2 spikes off in like opposite directions.
Yeah, that.
That indeed. But yeah, where's the next album? But now, let's move on to the pièce de résistance of this week.
Yes.
The final song here. And hang on. I gotta go to Twitter real quick for something. Okay, tweet. Here we go. Hey, you all should listen to Daft Punk's Get Lucky, Song of the Summer. Send tweet. There we go. Easiest 2,000 retweets I ever made. By the way, all of you tweeters who think you're original when you're doing that at this point, you're fucking not, and I see you. But yeah, it's been a while since we've had, a good dose of proper new material from either of the guys in Daft Punk. They've obviously been keeping busy with other stuff, I guess. But now we finally have, a pulse of activity from one of the members, at least, Mr. Thomas Bangalter, which is probably the most erotic name held by anyone who doesn't work in the porn industry. Get it? Bangalter. But anyway, yes, someone managed to get a hold of a very lengthy track he's been working on, or I guess, worked on recently. I don't know the full history of this, but yeah, we got a new track from him called Riga, parentheses, take 5, which I'm guessing there must have been like 4 other takes or so before this one came out, But yeah, and this one is a whopping 14 minutes, so if anything, probably at least 1/4 of the length of this episode. About a fourth and a fifth, let's say. So, yeah, it's kind of just this very kind of repetitive sort of thing. Like, this is very clearly something you're supposed to, like, I guess, dance in a club, like, a sort of looping dance beat or just kind of vibe out to. There's this steady, like, building of these syncopated, computerized bleeps and blips. Sometimes there's kind of these crescendos in the mix here. There's a point, like, at around, like, 3 minutes in where the beat mixes up a bit by using the same kind of, like, the snare claps that you hear in, like, a footwork jam. And, it's just kind of still repeating on that over and over again. And then, right about, 5 minutes in, there's kind of a mild switch up to the sort of glitchy melody where it kind of sucks out some of the bassier elements in the mix. Just so that actual melody, like, punctuates a little bit more, and it feels like there's more, like, empty space beneath it and the drum beat. There kind of seems to be a point at the 8-minute mark where, like, the fader, cranks up as it moves a little bit more, gets a little bit more muffled into sort of more bouncy techno sort of territory. And, this whole rhythm as a whole, the more it goes on, the more you realize it almost kind of sounds like a stripped-down version of their theme for Tron Legacy. You know what I mean? The one?
Yeah, kind of. I do. Yeah, I do kind of recognize there was something we'll hear on Tron Legacy. But yeah, this song, I would say, like, for the whole 14-minute length of this song, it's like, first minute, okay, this is kind of repetitive. Second minute, okay, it's building up. Third, okay. Fourth, all right. Okay, fifth, sixth, seventh, it's, it's, you get the point. Is like, shit does happen. Like the pulse and beat does kind of get monotonous for a while. It's kind of like it comes something to happen. Well, and it does. It does. It does move on. That, like, it is kind of fascinating. Like, hearing something from, at least from this other guy from Daft Punk, since I've been hearing about the other guy whose name escapes me. Which is I know it's guy something, which last name I cannot pronounce, but yeah. Yeah,
it's something very French.
Yeah, something French. Yeah, this is a very interesting track here from the other half of Daft Punk, and yeah, like I know I heard it from, like, you going for some Latvian, well, at least something for a Latvian film. I can't say the name of the country because I fucking
Latvian.
We could take one. Latvian, yeah. Yeah, somehow we could take one, which, hey, I guess, there's the first one.
Yes. Yes, there is.
Yeah, when the other 3 are in between or some shit. I don't know.
Okay, I can tell you the name of the other guy in Daft Punk. His name is Guy Manuel de Homen Cristo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very French.
Yeah. His full name is actually Guillaume Emmanuel, but whatever. As for the song, this is definitely the kind of track that is variations on a motif. A bit expected for this kind of electronic music, but I'll admit this just drones on way too long for me. It's 14 minutes of variations of the same couple of bars, over and over again in a looping pattern, and it just didn't really do everything for me. Good experimentation. Apparently it was all done in one take, but I'll have to pass on it.
Well, I mean, that is why they call it Take 5. I'm guessing it took that long to get it just the way he wanted it. And to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if this was, like, again, some sort of, like, club dance type of track, specifically in that context where the looping repetition would play to its favor. But we don't really know that for now. That's just an educated guess.